Well, hello, educators. Welcome. Welcome back. If you had a chance to see the lesson yesterday, we appreciate you being back here to learn more about your voice's power. If you are brand new to this, if you missed the lesson, we're going to send a copy to you. You will have that. And if you're seeing us now, and this is a recorded workshop that you're watching, that's fabulous. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Michelle Armstrong. I'm with the Cobblestone Collective. I am thrilled to be able to work with Peter and Christine and learn more about Your Voice's Power. I'll be in the YouTube chat answering any questions you might have there, but I'm going to turn this all over to Peter and Christine. You guys, take it away.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our workshop, Your Voice's Power. I think I'm going to take some time to, we're going to introduce ourselves and then we're going to dive right into it. So my name is Christine Malott, and I'm an Indigenous high school teacher. I am an Anishinaabe, more specifically. I'm also a curriculum developer and a hip hop listener. I'm joining you today from my home here on Treaty 1 territory in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I invite you to think about the land that you're on right now and how you benefit from the original agreements to share the land. I feel very fortunate to be here with you all today to teach you about this program that combines music, technology, and literature. And I know I would have loved this program when I was in high school, so I can't wait to tell you more about it. Peter? Peter's on mute.
That's no good. No, I'm not. Thanks. I'm Peter Skillen. I'm a teacher, an elementary trained teacher. So I've been teaching for a long time. Now I've sort of retired, but I'm now working with this project. I'm thrilled to do so. I'm coming to you from Toronto, Treaty 3, Williams Treaties, and regional lands of the Haudenosaunee people, and I'm happy to learn lots about them as I've traveled through this project and with other projects I'm involved with. So happy to be here. Thanks, Christine.
All right, so a little bit of history about the program. If you are joining us live, we encourage you to comment the grade and subject that you teach and what brought you here today. And we will be checking the comments and trying our best to respond. If you have any questions, also feel free to write in the comments, and we'll try our best. So a little bit of history about the program. Very simply, Your Voice's Power is a hip hop coding program aimed at promoting equity. So the program first started in the United States. Amazon Future Engineer and Georgia Tech University partnered with legendary hip hop producer Pharrell Williams and his nonprofit organization Yellow to create an innovative learning experience and competition for students across the United States. They specifically wanted to inspire African American youth to become interested in computer science, as this group is underrepresented in the technology sector in the United States. Fast forward a few years, and they wanted to bring this program into Canada. So while the Canadian program is for all students, it has been tailored to inspire Indigenous youth as the underrepresented demographic here in Canada. So in a 2019 report by Ryerson University, less than 2% of people working in the technology sector in Canada identified as Indigenous. So this program aims to destigmatize the field of computer science and give all students a fun starting point to learn about coding. So in Canada, this time, Amazon Future Engineer, Amazon Music partnered with TakingIT Global, Connected North, the University of British Columbia, and Code to Learn to remix the program and Canadianize it. So this is where my journey with the program began. So in the Canadian program, students in grades 7 through 12 will learn valuable coding skills by remixing music from a variety of Indigenous artists and building their computer science skills while engaging in meaningful classroom conversations around topics of equity and social justice. So specific topics such as the residential schools, the 60 Scoop, and the 94 calls to action are discussed, although the focus of the program is on helping students to see the beauty and resilience in Indigenous culture. So Indigenous music and dance is highlighted in the program. Students will also learn about the history of hip hop in the United States and then the history of Canadian hip hop as well. So hip hop was seen as an element to really draw youth into coding. And so, hip hop is one of the most popular music genres today. It's also a natural fit for the program because it's likely to entice youth to want to give coding a try. I think we're going to play an introductory video that we created, and then I'll tell you some more.
The Your Voice is Power contest will launch in early 2022 and will provide middle and high school students with the opportunity to learn about coding and social justice through music. EarSketch is the coding software created by Georgia Tech University that allows students to turn code into music, along with beats and loops provided by artists like us.
On déconstruit une chanson pour pouvoir en créer une nouvelle. Donc, je pense que c'est la plus belle expérience qu'on peut faire avec une chanson déjà existante.
I think learning to code is really important these days, especially for young Indigenous people to get involved with the technology that is continuing to advance in today's society.
Hip-hop is a celebration of culture, energy, intellect, self-expression, and survival. Hip-hop teaches us that our voice is power.
You might not be aware of the light and how bright you are, but you have to know that you are capable of inspiring other people.
Maintenant, il est temps d'utiliser cette voix à travers la musique et le codage. Alors, êtes-vous prêts?
The time is now to create your remix. Let go of your inhibitions, don't be afraid to share your voice, and write from the heart.
Vous êtes un programmeur. Faites des rythmes, apprenez le codage, promouvoir l'équité.
And I can't wait to hear what you come up with.
All right. So excitingly, the Your Voice is Power website, which houses all the learning modules that I'll talk about in a minute, as well as the EarSketch program, have been made available in English, French, Ojibwe, and Inuktitut. So in addition to the curriculum, Your Voice is Power includes a contest for students to submit their remixed songs where they can be judged by a panel of experts, including Amazon engineers, Amazon music team members, computer scientists, academics, and music industry professionals and teachers. Winners will be announced in June of every year, and there will be a $1,000 teacher prize, one $5,000 Indigenous student prize, and another $5,000 student prize for a student who identifies as an ally. So in the program, 3 nationally recognized Indigenous artists are taking part in this year's competition. So students remix songs from Dakota Bear, Jaylee Wolf, and Samion, who you saw in the video, while taking inspiration from the social justice themes demonstrated in each of their original songs. So Samion is a French-speaking Indigenous hip-hop artist originally from a small northern community in Quebec. Jaylee Wolf is an Anishinaabe and Cree artist, singer, songwriter based out of Toronto. And Dakota Bear is a Saskatoon-bred, Vancouver-based Indigenous hip-hop artist and activist. Now, one of my favorite parts of the program is that students get to hear directly from each artist about their inspiration and journey into the world of music and how each of them embodies both activism and entrepreneurship. I'm going to take you through each of the modules now and give you an idea about some of the topics and themes that are addressed in each module. So as I said, there are 8 modules altogether, and these are housed on the yourvoicespower.ca website. It's absolutely free for teachers to access. And some of the things that students will learn in each module include Module 1 is the introduction. And so here students will learn about the connections between coding and music, they'll create their EarSketch account, and they will learn about the digital audio workstation and have a little fun with tempo. Now, I have to admit, when I first started working on this program, I didn't even know what coding was. I had zero coding experience. And so there's a video in Module 1 that teachers can show students about how to sort of grasp the concept of creating code. And there's this one video that relates coding to dancing. And so it shows how coding is basically like teaching somebody how to dance. So it's a set of instructions that you would give somebody: right foot forward, left foot back. And instead of telling somebody this, you are giving the computer these instructions, and then the computer is doing what you say. So that video really helped me understand like what coding even was. And so if you have no experience coding, Module 1 will teach you everything that you need to know. Module 2 is called Layers of Injustice and Creating a Script with Comments. So this is where students will learn about the history of hip hop in the United States, including different types of racism. They will also learn how to write a script in their code and add comments to their code. Module 3 is called Layers of Music, and students will start to add sounds to their EarSketch scripts and learn about debugging. So they'll get to listen to a variety of sounds that are included in the EarSketch platform and create a little sound bank for themselves of sounds that they would like to include in their remixed song. Students will also watch a video where they will hear from the Indigenous artists that are featured, and they will learn about what inspired them to begin writing music and what the connections are between activism and entrepreneurship. In Module 4, it's called Creating Your Sound Bank, Variables and Tracks. And so in this module, students will learn how to create a sound bank and code instrumental layers using variables and functions in their song. Module 5 is Song Structure. Every song and person plays a part. So in Module 5, students will learn about the history of hip hop in Canada, including the concepts of decolonization and indigenization. Students will analyze song lyrics using the 4R framework, which is a framework that was developed by Indigenous educators, Verna J. Kirkness and Ray Barnhart. Students will also learn about many wonderful examples of Indigenous music, songs, dances, instruments, and musicians. In Module 6 is called Messages, Chorus, and Custom Functions. So students will explore Indigenous role models and continue to develop their coding skills so that they can code their final song for the competition if they choose to participate. Module 7 is the Spirit Bear Guide and Calls to Action. So in Module 7, students will learn songs that promote equity, and they will also learn about the 94 calls to action set forth by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada. Students will choose one call to action that especially resonate with them, and they will think about how their song can include the 4 R's, which are respect, relevance, reciprocity, and responsibility. And so how can their songs incorporate those elements? Finally, Module 8 is Code Your Voice. And so Module 8 takes all these things together, and students will think about what they need to have in their song to comply with the competition requirements. And they will learn how to submit their song for the competition if they choose. So the idea is once students complete all 8 modules, they will have an original remixed song that they can enter into the national competition if they wish. Entering their song into the competition is not required, but it's encouraged because it's a fun incentive for them. And like I said, all of the modules can be found for free online on our website. The final thing I'll take you through is best practices when teaching and learning about trauma. So while every effort was made to make these lessons inspirational and focus on resilience, beauty, and talent in our communities, there are some lessons that discuss trauma, whether briefly or in depth. And so we encourage educators to take a trauma-informed stance to these lessons. And the goal of any trauma-informed practice is to just avoid re-traumatizing students who maybe personally or generationally have experienced trauma, such as colonization, and so to support student safety while promoting health and care. So some program-specific tips that we've developed. The number one thing is relationship building. So just ensuring that you have a good relationship with your class before beginning this program. This might look like building a relationship with students prior to implementing the program. The second thing is ensuring students know what mental health resources are available to them and how to access it. So who can they talk to? Ideally, these would be no cost or reduced cost mental health options. This could even look like providing students with a pamphlet at the beginning of the program or having a poster with resources displayed in your classroom. Number three is just being upfront with students about the types of trauma that they'll be learning about. So giving students a trigger warning at the beginning of the lesson. For example, saying something like, tomorrow we will be learning about colonization in Canada and in particular residential schools. So we've included trigger warning and sensitive topic warnings on our website at the beginning of the lessons that discuss trauma. And then finally, just giving students control and voice. And so what I love about this program is that students get to decide what they're comfortable writing about and what they're comfortable sharing and how they want to use their voice. And so I think this is a really important practice because we would never want to force students to be vulnerable about something that they aren't ready to share. And so students can really sort of do what they want with this and make a song about what they want. So I'm wondering if there are any comments. I don't see any. Any questions that you may have, feel free to write them in the chat. But I think Peter is going to take us through the coding part now.
Okay, don't panic. It's all good. The coding that you'll be required to do from most territorial and provincial curricula, it's about a grade 5 level of coding that's in the curriculum that obviously you can go well beyond that, and many students will. But from what I've seen, that's the level of coding that is the minimum entry for the competition, should students wish to jump into that. So for those of you who haven't coded before, it can seem very overwhelming, but as Christine mentioned, it's really like the instructions for a dance or the instructions that you follow for other kinds of things. So, and there are lots of resources. Now, what I'm going to jump out and show you now is how to sort of put music into the EarSketch platform and do that. I'm sort of jumping into the middle of the curriculum, so I'm not starting with module 1. I'm actually going to show you stuff from module 3 or 4. But I think we need to see the music platform in order for you to sort of get hooked on that. And then I'll show you the curriculum afterwards and show you how well paced it actually is to get yourself and your students engaged. So I'm going to go to, I'll go to Your Voices Power here, and I'll just switch my tab over right here. And when I'm here, this is the website, which I will show you later, but there is a Start Coding button right here. So I'm going to click on that, and that will open yet another tab, which I'll share instead. And here it is right here. And there is a, look at this. I'm already in a different language. So how convenient is that for you to see that this interface is also in multiple languages, as we mentioned. So here we are. We have it. We're showing it in the Anishinaabe language of the Ojibwe. We'll show it in English right now because otherwise I'd be in serious. I'd have a serious challenge ahead of me right there. So there is a nice little quick tour that you can watch and tour you through, but I think I'll just avoid that right now and skip it. You can call it up anytime from that information button there, start the quick tour. But because I'm here, I'll tour you myself. So, yes, I know, looks kind of intimidating, but let me describe the sections to you. This area is the code editor down here at the bottom. And that's where you will write your code and make what's called a script, a new script or program, essentially. And when you write your script and run it, it will show up here in what's called the digital audio workstation. And it's sort of like if you've used things like GarageBand or other kinds of music programs, you'll see tracks of music in a timeline up here, and you'll see that in just a second. Over on the left-hand side, we have what's called the Content Manager. And this is a tab that closes and opens whenever you need a certain amount of space on your screen. You can close it. If you want to see those things, you can open it. And these are the artists that we have available to us who contributed their sound clips. And you can see Dakota and Jaylee and Sammy Ann's names in here. And I'll show you how to sort those names and sort their music in just a second. So also you can see there's over 4,500 audio clips that have been contributed by these artists who are listed above. So that's pretty impressive to have that. So that's the Sounds tab inside the Content Manager, and the Scripts tab shows you all the scripts or all the programs that you've written right here. And then there's another which I won't bother showing you now, but basically that's a list of all the functions or commands that EarSketch understands that you can use. You'll only need to actually use a few of them anyway to complete the minimum requirements for the contest, should you wish to enter that. But of course, you can use many, many more if you wish. I'll click back on the Sounds tab here and just show you that you can sample these by just clicking on the play or preview. And I think we have sound all set. Can you hear that? It's very soft, actually. Maybe that's how you sample things, and then you can favorite them if you like to favorite them, or you can, in the curriculum, it'll show you how to pull the ones in that you want to into your sound bank to make a collection of the things that you like. Over on the right-hand side is another tab called Curriculum. Now, this isn't the Your Voices Power curriculum. It's sort of EarSketch curriculum. So if kids want to do some deeper research or, ask a question that we don't know the answer to, they can type in here a word. Maybe they want to make beats, so they could type beat and they could find out how to make beats. Or maybe they want to do maybe they want to control the volume differently, so they can do that and go and look then at the instructions for how to change the volume. So it's a great little encyclopedia for students that go beyond and extend things beyond the curriculum that we've written for Your Voices Power. I'll keep that closed as well because we need sort of the real estate at hand here to make it work. So I'm going to click here to create a new script, and it asks for the name of the script right away. And the reason for that is it saves things automatically. And so when it has the name of it, it's very nice, and it'll do that. We'll leave the script language as Python, although people can choose to use JavaScript. It's not showing in the pop-up screen there. That's fine, but you could use JavaScript if you wish, but our curriculum is written to serve Python. So when I create this now, there it is. And there's the template that's in the code editor. And if I were now to click on scripts over here, I would see it, Cobblestone Demo, right there. That's it. I'll go back to the sounds and I'll explain what's in here. Anything with a hashtag, like in the word, like for here, doesn't run as code. It's what's called a comment. And programmers nearly always comment on their code because once you write something, you sort of forget a day or two later what the code was doing. And so that's a great way to say, oh, this is my verse, and this is my chorus, and this is my intro, that kind of thing. But we also use comments in Your Voice is Power for kids to be able to write, to express their voice a little differently than just the song that they create. So they can type words in here as well, maybe saying, I used this piece of music because it made me feel angry and upset as I learned about residential schools, kind of thing. So that way they get to express things beyond in different ways. This, I don't know what it is, but basically it's there just as part of the default code. I do know what this is, though. This is the setting of the tempo to the default of 120 beats per minute. And so there we go. Now down here is where I'm going to write my code. And over here, I'm going to use some of these sounds. I'm going to put them in here in the code, and I'm going to have them show up here in different tracks. And I'll just show you that right now. So let me just select Dakota, Jay Lee, and Samian so that it filters out. So now I've only got 78 music clips showing instead of the 500 or several thousand that I had before, right? So there they are. Maybe what I want to add first is a percussion, a drum. So I could filter also, I've filtered by artist. I could also filter by instruments. So maybe I'd like drums only showing. So now I've just got 26 sounds there, and I could sample these by clicking. Okay, Dakota there. Okay, I'm going to use this one. So that one I like. So I come over here to line 8, just below set tempo, and I start typing the word fit media. That's a function that EarSketch already knows, and they're all listed in the curriculum, and it goes very clearly into showing you how it works. So when I start typing fit media, press the letter F, it actually pops this up for me, and I can choose that. And so now it says, hey, okay, you want to put a sound in here? What sound do you want? What music track do you want it on? Because we're going to have many tracks of music, one for maybe one for drums, maybe one for vocals, maybe one for synthesizer, that kind of thing. And what measure do you want? Where do you want it to start? For how long do you want it to play, in essence, from start to end? So I'll show you that. So sound. Okay, so I'll highlight the word sound and I'll click on this paste button right here. And it pastes that in there for you. And let's see. Track. Okay, so now I'll change the track. Well, I won't change the track. I'll put a number in for the track. These are called parameters or variables. So now it's going to show up in track 1. And if you're not sure what all that is, you'll see it in just a second, so not to worry. Where do I want it to start? I'll start at measure 1, and I'll end at measure 5. And so what that is a 4 measure. It's 4 measures long. And for those of you that know music, you know about 4/4 time, and that's the way that works. So when I click run here to convert this into music up in my digital audio workstation. And so it's on track 1. It starts at measure 1, measure 2. That's one measure right there. 2, 3, okay, up to 5. So it starts at 1. Unlike this, your seconds, there's 0, 1, 2, 3. So when we count, we start at 0, but when we're doing measures, we start at 1. So that freaked me out a little bit, honestly, when I was trying to learn this, because I'm not a music guy, and actually I'm not a Python coder either. So I sort of learned this on the go, and here we are. So now I'll play it. Okay, so that's the first track, and that's the first entry there. So what I'll do is change from drums. Now I want a vocal. So I could preview my vocals.
My father's blood is kite and broke.
Okay, good. I can preview those. I'm not working properly there. That's okay. So basically, I preview. Okay, I'll use that one. So I'm going to preview, then I'm going to paste in here. So F for fit media. I want that sound in there, so it replaces it. There it is. Change this to track 2. I can't have it on track 1 because I'm going to use it in the same time slot from 1 to 5. So I previewed, pasted, I'm going to run, and then I'm going to play.
Young blood, keep the children down to the water with the cross and the Bible.
So I've done a remix. It almost sounds like those two things were meant for each other, but in fact they're from two different artists, and so forth. So you can also add your own sounds in. You can upload a sound from your computer if your kids have made something, or if they've recorded something somewhere. You can do a quick record where you can see it's hearing my voice. So I could record something here and upload it as well. I could get other sounds that are copyright free from various sources such as Freesound, and add that in as well. So kids basically go through the process of doing this, and it gets a little more complex in a sense, because obviously if they just put all sorts of fit medias in, which they could do, fit media, and they just change the track numbers and the measures, sort of it's all there, sort of all strung out. I call it spaghetti code. It's all strung out like spaghetti. But there's in the lesson plans in Your Voice's Power site, you'll see that kids can chunk things. So they could put intro with a hashtag. They could do hashtag intro and then put their fit media stuff in the intro. And then they could do verse 1 and put their code in there, and then chorus and put their code in there, and then verse 2 and then their information in there, and then they can have a chorus again. So yeah, you can add your own sound clip, Valia. You don't want me to do that, do you? Because that'd be really embarrassing. So right there at Valia, it's the plus sign, the add sound, and then they can do quick record. So they could record a voice, they could record an instrument, they could do their lyrics, they could sing a bit of a song, whatever. It's very, very powerful that way.
Yeah, and I should add that one of our 2022 winners recorded himself rapping over his beat using that button. And he just recorded himself rapping right in the Ear Sketch platform. And then when you do that, you come up as the artist, and then you just add yourself into the code. So very same, exact same process. Yeah, it was really great.
And I think we should show his work when we get to that website, don't you? So this, so I'm not going to show you any more of the coding now, unless you have another question. Anybody? Valia, maybe? If not, I'll just go from here now out to the website. Did I miss anything here? Are we okay, Christine?
Yeah, I don't think so. I am, once students find the sounds they like, then their job is to organize it into verses and a chorus, and they have to do that sort of organization work. But this is the foundation of it. If you can understand fit media, that is like gold. You are good to go.
Exactly.
I don't even remember what module that comes up in, but it's not until like module 4 at least.
That's right.
So we've sort of sped through this, but yeah.
Okay, so let me go back to Your Voice's Power site. I'll share this tab now here and just show you what's here. You know what? I'm going to show you the winners right now, just because. So the spring winners, 2022. Here's Bryce. Tell us about Bryce.
All right. So Bryce attended a hackathon that we did here in Winnipeg in May 2022. The hackathon was a full day coding event where we took the students through module 1 to module 8. So start to finish the whole curriculum in one day. It was quite an intensive day of coding and learning. But Bryce attended the day. He never coded before. Although he was interested in making beats. And so he sort of understood the digital audio workstation really, really well. And so he caught on quite quickly. But he had never coded before, and so did that completely from scratch. It just so turns out that the day that we held the hackathon was the last day for the competition, and all submissions were due at midnight. And so Bryce worked all day. He recorded his own lyrics over his beat that he created, and then he rapped his own song. So it was quite incredible. And then a few months later, we found out, or 1 month later, we found out that he won the national competition, and we were just super proud of him. So we can play you his song here. We actually did have to re-record it because he originally recorded it. When he came to our program, he didn't have a computer. He didn't have headphones. So all of his stuff was borrowed, and it turns out the microphone on his headphones was not working well at all. So we re-recorded it with him, and this is the version where you can hear his lyrics quite well.
He was so dedicated and passionate that the Code to Learn team decided that he should have a laptop. So that's what was provided to him, and that's what he's holding in that picture. Okay, so I'm going to share this tab now instead. And here we go. Now I'm going to run this. This is all his code here. And I'll run that. And it'll show up in the digital audio workstation here in a second. It's a little longer, so it takes a little while. And here we go.
Now the product of the trenches, still we fight against depression. Violence often mentioned, they forget about the message. Nobody listens, ears open, they don't get it. Possessed, blurry vision, traumatized. Also addictions, raised by residential school victims. Racial profile by all systems, substandard memories are vivid. Racial profile by all systems, substandard memories are vivid. Domestic brutality in the family home, normal to see in the family home. Blood on the wall in the family home, reeks of alcohol in the family home. Questions confront the conscience. Is this a family home? Currently we develop, we want a family home. Domestic brutality in the family home, normal to see. Racial profile by all systems, substandard memories are vivid. racial profile, but all systems of standard memories of. Open up your eyes. Open up your mind. Yeah, time to rise.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah. So Bryce poured, his heart and soul into that song, and I'm so happy that he won.
Yeah. And the ally was from a French immersion school, Miyu. And this is hers. It's quite different, but it's worth the visit. Here it is.
I don't think we can hear anything, Peter. I think Peter's frozen. Oh, you're back. Yeah, Peter, we can't hear it.
That's weird, eh? It's can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, eh? It's not showing.
Oh,
Just because, Peter, it's not shared in that same tab there. I think maybe now.
Okay, my apologies.
No. Let's try it again because you guys have me want to hear this. Let's try one more time.
Okay.
Doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. Doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. Doing this work as we can't just pray anymore. We must do something and we need to do it now.
Almost like you're screaming, but no one hears your voice.
We want the freedom and not the illusion. We are the warriors, the ones that you read in the stories. We are notorious.
Almost like you're screaming, but no one hears your voice.
I just wanna be me. I just wanna feel free. Is that too much that we ask? Look to the future but learn from the past. I know that sometimes we clash.
Almost like you're screaming, but no one hears your voice.
Pretty amazing. And you can see what she's done. I'll just scroll this up a bit. You can see what she's done here now. She's used her commenting quite effectively. She's described why she's used certain things. And then she has, instead of having these big, long names, she's made her sound bank and given them variable names. So intro beat is replaces the name for that long name for the song that you'll see in the music clip section. Intro mono 1, same thing, beat 1, and so forth. And then down here, she's defined her own functions. So now she's got intro. I'm defining the intro to be these fit media statements. Fit media intro beat, instead of the big long song name. Define refrain, define couplet, and then down at the bottom, she's got the actual song. Here it is, and that is sort of the package of all the pieces that she created that show that I just showed you up above. So do the intro from 1 to 7. Do the refrain from 7 to 11. Do the couplet 1 from 11 to 14.4, and so forth. And then she had a bridge in there from 1 to 20. Not quite, but whatever. You got the idea that it's packaged that way. So that's fairly sophisticated programming, but kids do learn that kind of packaging at the grade 4, 5, 6 level in our territorial and provincial curricula. So, okay, website. Oh my goodness. Let me go back here. Share this tab instead. Okay, back to here. So, a really important piece I want to show you here is this. Make sure you view the competition entry requirements before you start. It just says that kids have to make a song between 30 seconds and 3 minutes. They must use a sound clip from one of the indigenous musicians. They can use other stuff and so forth. So it's really good to lay that out well in advance so that kids don't get excited and charge ahead and then say, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, The modules, Christine sort of overviewed the content of each, but when you look in more deeply, you'll see the kind of structure. It's a kind of a 3-part lesson. So there's a minds on, then action, and consolidation, and then extensions and resources are listed in many of the modules as well. And so let me just go into one of these and just show you the kind of content and look and feel that kids and teachers will see. So there's lots of videos embedded in here, which are really appealing and informative and reduce the amount of, quote, text that one might have to deal with. There's a student notebook I'll show you in a second. And then the extensions. So let me go to a different module, module 4, same kind of structure. What I won't show you, but will tell you, is that as we said earlier, it goes very slowly. Module 1, getting an account, how to do things really simply to lead you up to what we've shown you, because we've shown you a lot. But also we have these things, course guide. So if you want to have something beyond the website, different from the website, let's say, maybe you'd like just to have a printout of stuff, you can get the course guide, and it's a Google Doc with all the same stuff in there, with all the links in there. So you can have that at your fingertips separately from having the website. Or you can click on the slides. So you can get the slides. And so you don't have to, prepare your slides. They're already made for you. And all the speaker notes are in here as well. So all the videos are embedded, all the speaker notes are there underneath, as you can see, so that you can use these directly in your classrooms. And also there's the student notebook, which is nice, because that's the place where student can, respond to the prompts that you have. But we also make it very clear that we want students to have the freedom to be able to charge ahead, or the freedom to be able to go back and review, or to document their own ideas in here, because it is, after all, their project. It's not about us as teachers, right? And so all this is in here as well. So there's really quite a wealth of information, and we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you. Christine, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, maybe just another note on pacing. So each of the modules are designed to be under an hour and a half to teach and go through. So it's up to teachers, like if you want to do one module a day for 8 days, one module a week. The pacing is really up to you. And then, as Peter said, also allowing students the freedom to go forward and go ahead if they're really enjoying it is really important as well.
Great. The other thing that we should mention is that we have a curriculum alignment. We've only got the curriculum alignment here right now for sort of grade 7 and up, grade 8 and up kind of thing. But you can see that that's a very valuable piece for you, depending on what. We don't have them all here yet, but we have some of them. We're not perfect, but we're working on it. We're works in progress.
Well, and there's so many curriculum alignments that it goes with. Like, it was quite an undertaking to go through, so many different subjects and so many different big ideas. But yeah, it is a work in progress, the curriculum connections part.
And a good FAQ there for you and lots of information. So I think that's a pretty thorough overview of things for today. And we look forward to seeing what you all get up to and how you go about your creations, and are excited to see what your students can produce and the learnings that they come to have. So thank you so much.
Well, and thank you, Peter, and thank you, Christine. Just on behalf of Cobblestone Collective, it's so nice to be able to work with you. For me to learn more, this is fabulous. I love the pacing. I think Valia mentioned as well, like just the pacing of the lessons is just so succinct. That's great. And just that overview of Ear Sketch, and to see the code behind those 2 winning entries as well. What inspiration for students to be able to build their own. So appreciate you all being here. Those of you in the Q&A, thank you for being here. Thank you for your questions. And then those watching the recording, hopefully as well, you've received all sorts of great info to get your students remixing their beats and coding, knowing their voice's power. Oh yes, Peter, do you want to talk about this?
So if we'd be happy to send you a $25 Amazon gift certificate, because Amazon is a huge funder and supporter of this initiative. So you could use that QR code or that bit.ly to fill out a simple survey. This helps our funders, both Amazon and certainly the Government of Canada, which also supports this, it just gathers a little information and is really great support, and that's data that the government is happy to receive, and gives them encouragement to continue to support our initiatives. So thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, with that, we'll put this exit ticket up on the big screen. You'll see that the link is also in the chat. $25 gift card for giving great information back to Peter and to Christine and to Your Voices Power. Such a great program. So glad that you were able to share it today, and I appreciate you both being here. So thank you very much. Hope to see everyone else again soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.